So what is Google My Business? Well, that's a question that so many people ask, but so few people actually give a straight answer. What is Google My Business? Well, you're going to enjoy today's video because I'm going to go into plain English and explain it on a level that any audience can fully understand. Welcome to my video. So I'm Zane from Zanet Design, and I help businesses grow on the internet. So things like Google My Business has been a revelation in the last few years for small local businesses to grow. But so many people are asking that I don't really understand what Google My Business is. How can I relate to Google My Business? I don't have the time to watch videos or spend time reading about what Google My Business will do. I don't even have any SEO knowledge. So how's Google My Business going to help me? Well, the next few minutes are going to be minutes well spent for you if you know nothing about Google My Business, because I'm going to try and relate to you exactly how it works and why it can benefit your business. And then I'll show you how you can even do it in a very easy way where you can grow your business just with a few things with Google My Business. So let's think about what Google My Business is, and let's think about why it's important, first of all, to understand what you can relate to when it comes to Google My Business. I think it's important, first of all, to just explain the challenge you have. I mean, back just over a decade ago, 2007, the iPhone came along. Now, you imagine if an alien came to this earth and you tried to explain to an alien how an iPhone works and what it does. You'd be looking for something that the alien could relate to. So do they have screens on their spaceship? Do they know what electricity is? Do they still use things that have wires connected, or do they communicate by using something that's wireless? You'd have to almost know a little bit about the background of where the aliens come from a technological point of view, to then know where you come in at a certain level. So that's the key to understanding what Google My Business is first of all to try and think about what things do you know? What can you relate to? Or as another example, what about if someone asks you to explain the taste of a banana? The first question you'd ask, well, have you tasted bananas before? You need to taste a banana to understand what it tastes like. But then you might start to want to perhaps ask them, have you tried certain things? Have you tried a melon then? Have you tried something that's sweet? And once they've tried a few other things, you might be able to say, well, that's what it's like. That's what a banana tastes like. But the best way to explain the taste of a banana is to try the banana. And in that way, once people start to understand what it is and they then try it, they then immediately realize that actually they either like it or they don't. And at Google My Business comes over in a very similar way, that maybe there are things you've already tried. There are things you can relate to. And that's what I'm going to look at now, is what you can relate to that then takes you and brings you up to speed as to where Google My Business is. There's actually 4 things that you probably know that Google My Business does and you can relate to. And once we put those 4 things together, then I think you'll get the idea of what Google My Business can do for your business. So like that banana, Google My Business is a lot easier to explain if you've tasted it or tried it already. So what I would suggest you do is you go to Google Maps, or you type in Google My Business into your search engine and see, first of all, whether your business has been registered, because a lot of businesses have already been registered on your behalf. So it could be that you find that you've already got a Google My Business registered for you, and then all you need to do is make a claim to it. And that's really easy too. Now, I've got a few videos that will show you how to do that. And before you go any further, if this level is a level that's going to help you, then make sure you subscribe down below now so you don't miss, because what may happen is a few videos on, you can't then find this video. So subscribe and you'll find all my videos speaking plain English, and they'll come in at different entry levels. So I have a beginner's area, I have an intermediates, and I have an expert and advanced areas as well. So whatever level you want to go to with Google My Business, I can take you, hold your hand and get you to that point. So hopefully that's the level we're coming at the moment is a basic level. And I'm going to now mention those 4 areas that I think you'll be able to relate to. So first of all, how does Google themselves define Google My Business? What do they say it is? Well, they say it's a free tool from Google that will help business owners manage their online presence across the search engine and its growing portfolio of utilities. Seasoned SEO professionals use Google My Business listings to leverage a location-based strategy. Creating a Google My Business listing is the first step to local search success. Now, that might sound a bit of a mouthful, but we're going to relate that to things like maybe you know what yellow pages are, or maybe you know what an index is to like Thompson's Local, where there used to be physical directories that would be put through your front door, and then you would then be able to look up and say, well, where's the local plumber? Or, where's the person who can fix some fences for me locally? So it's like a local index or directory. So that's the first type of thing you need to think about when it comes to Google My Business. It's a local directory, so you can find the trades that you need when you do a search on Google. So the second thing I think you'll be able to relate to is you probably kind of understand the model that Google themselves use. So maybe you've got a Google Calendar, maybe you've used Google Maps, maybe you've even used perhaps other Google things like Gmail, for example. So you understand that the way that Google works is that they provide free tools, and then because the tools are so useful, millions and millions of people use them, and then once they've got millions and millions of people on board with a tool, they'll then advertise to those people. So Google is a business, it's an advertising business actually. In effect, it knows the more traffic it gets to whatever tool it's using, then the more it can advertise and charge for advertising. So Google My Business is in effect another way of keeping people within Google. It's an area that provides information through Google search. It also enhances Google Maps, and it also works with other tools that Google offer as well. So from Google's point of view, why are they giving it away free, this amazing tool that promotes your business? Well, because ultimately they're going to use it to get more people within Google so they can advertise. So that's the mentality behind why Google has wanting everyone that has a business to use Google My Business. Now, another assumption I'll make is a tool of Google Street View. I'll assume you know that, or even Google Earth. And in effect, Google's also tried to map out like a virtual world where you can go down your high street and you can see what shops are there. Now, again, Google My Business kind of works with that too, because not only does it want Street View to make sense and have the up-to-date latest businesses down the street, but it also wants it so that it's useful, so that in effect there'll be a world of reality where you can walk down the street with your phone and you can then literally see what's around you business-wise and when they're open till and whether there's any offers. So if you think of 10, 20 years ahead from now, Google will realise that if it has every business registered with it, and someone's walking down with Street View on their phone, and probably again with advanced technology on phones, the two are going to work hand in hand in a virtual world, in a virtual business world with your phone. So as you walk past, say the pizza place, an offer will come up on your phone. If you come into the pizza place now, you get 50% off, that type of thing. But Google needs businesses to be registered with it for it to then be able to offer those types of services. So you know what Street View is? That also kind of works well with how Google My Business is being set up at this time. And the fourth area, I'll assume you understand, is you know what something like TripAdvisor is, or you'll know that, say, Checkertrade is another one that is familiar with in this country. And in effect, what it is when people use a service, say a plumber or electrician, they then rate it. And these ratings will continue to probably bring in more and more clients, because the higher the rating and the more people that rate something well, then in effect it's a recommendation. So Google reviews is it's the same type of thing. What it is it's getting people to rate the business. So when you go for, say, a meal at a shop, then not only would you take a photograph of it, but you might then explain, this was 5 out of 10, but you would give it a rating. Maybe if you go to a hotel on holiday on TripAdvisor, you might give it a rating and say the pool was dirty, but the facilities were good on the whole. People read these things, and Google My Business recognizes that. So Google My Business is pushing reviews, information, photographs from customers. All those things are coming together so that you have recommendations too. So now think about it in those terms then. So you've got a local index like Yellow Pages and Thomson Directory. You've got businesses being registered on a kind of virtual world, which is like Street View with Google. You've got an integration of Google Ads because it's building up on Google's traffic through search results. And then on top of that, you've got reviews like TripAdvisor and Checkertrade that rate those businesses. And when you put all those things together, that's what Google My Business is. But you don't need to be an SEO person to understand how to optimize it. In fact, you don't really need to know any code or any information or even marketing. If you just know what your business does well, if you can take photographs, if you know what it is that your customers are asking, what questions they're asking, then actually you can optimize Google My Business to quite a good degree. And that's what these videos will do for you. So over the next few weeks, I want you to start looking at some of these videos. I'm going to put a couple now at the end of this video for you to follow. And one's called Google My Business for Dummies. And it will just go into continue this conversation that we're having, where you'll find out a bit more information about the various things within Google My Business, how to register it, how to claim your business if it hasn't been claimed already. And if you want something a bit more advanced, then I've put a video here for you too that will help you to just move on another step from the ones that we've discussed today. So I look forward to seeing you over on those videos.